Open. How you doing there, Rick? Looks like overcast. Is it? It looks pretty nice. What we're watching right now. It looks like the sun's starting to come out.
You want the weather or you want the golf? Which one do you want?
Let's start with weather. I need to set the tone.
If you want, you know the weather. You can look at the damn TV set. And I was actually on the course about 4 minutes ago, and then I saw hold on. Yeah, so I'll just tell the guy coming up on the ninth fairway, hey, hold on, Manuch isn't ready yet. Don't hit the ball yet. So I step back into the media center, and luckily I'm fine. So my crap is over. I will tell you this, that it is such a fine line between a +4 that Tiger has, and some would say he's played himself out of the tournament because he's already 9 back. I don't think that's true, but he doesn't have the horses to do it. But he didn't play a miserable round. He 3-putted a couple, and then it got away from him. But this is going to be a wonderful place over the next few days when it continues to get hot. And they'd love to have the ball stop somewhere, but it ain't going to happen. You're going to see a lot of frustrated human beings.
Well, Pinehurst
throwing a lot of clubs. Yeah.
And Pinehurst, too, how difficult it is. I know you've played it. Watching all these drives going into the, what do you call that area?
Fescue.
Yes, fescue. Thank you. And it's hard.
It's not fescue.
Fescue.
Yes. God bless you.
Yeah.
God bless all of you guys that have to put up with him. Fescue.
And it's hard to hit out of that stuff, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes. It's a 2-step process. It's really hard to find it.
Yeah.
And then, assuming you find it, it's almost impossible to hit out of it.
What kind of galleries were there with Tiger? Was it the typical, tons and tons of people following him, or have you noticed over the years that you've been going to tournaments that it's less?
I think it's spread out a little bit. A lot of people are making decisions not just to wake up and go to sleep when Tiger tees off and doesn't. So, as Rory tees off, and as, Cantlay's morning round kind of shocked everybody, but it's a good round. And then you got the top 3 guys in the world playing together. That's where the, epicenter is now. I would say that the electricity around Tiger is a little less, but make no mistake, it's there. I mean, the guy's 48 years old. He has like a half of a functioning limb between all of them. And he's still the biggest draw in golf, which is incredible.
Hey, Rick, I'm real curious. How did Bryson DeChambeau resurrect himself as a golfer and being popular with fans on the course? Because everybody's following him. They're just going nuts.
Yeah, because everybody loves to root for the savant, absent-minded professor, Mensa guy that you would throw pies at, guys you love to hate in high school, the biggest geek ever. And this guy is all of that rolled into one, except for one thing. He hits the hell out of the golf ball.
Well, is that kind of the key out there, Rick, is just to hit the hell out of it and keep it straight? And it sounds like iron play as well, too. And do you notice, I know it's only been one round, but you notice any potential tricking up the golf course to make it one of those U.S. Open, USGA type of courses?
Well, the tricking of it is some would say unfair, rough. It's right off the fairway. So, Morikawa hit a massive drive on one, and it went into the bless you, the God bless you, and then you got to find it. And guys who are just a little off are penalized as if it's major off. So, where a lot of courses, even open courses, have first cuts, these are, penalized fescue. And, don't screw with the fescue, because the fescue will get you every time.
Here, when it comes to Phil Mickelson, +9 today. There's been some rumblings he may retire from the PGA Tour. Well, from LIV. I don't know what his contract is there, but what kind of crowd's following him?
A lot early. He may.
Yeah.
Here's the rumor. He may retire. I mean, it may be. I wave and he'll wave. We've done interviews together. I'm not tough then, or should I? And it's tough it's tough to be around him now. It's tough. It was tough to be around him, after the Saudis are crazy people, but then he takes the money. It's tough to be around that whole package. And I got to say, the mixture of highs and lows in the last 3-4 years, probably higher, a bigger mixture, a more diverse mixture than any athlete I could remember. Meaning, who's fallen in such disfavor, yet, who wins a major when he's 80 years old? It was not that, but it was pretty close. I mean, can you imagine the highs and lows of the last few years with him? I'm afraid the next few maybe months and years are going to be more lows than highs.
Well, it just seems as though he's got a little bit of an edge about him. I guess when you talk to him, what is bringing this edge on, or defensiveness, I'd probably call it. And you read about some of the other pros that they don't want to be around him anymore. So is there any root cause of where this is coming from?
When it's bad clothes, and when I played you losers and I wore black socks and I didn't play well, I had an edge about me also. It's just that I could prove significantly, and that's the difference. So,
Rick, I know we're short on time with you, so I want to real quickly, I think the big story in college football is that the Big 12 is exploring naming rights, and now I'm seeing Allstate is the possible, potential suitor. I would love to be the sales guy on the commission check on this one, but what is it that you think they'll get annually? 30, 40 million?
Yeah, and by the way, first one in is always tough because you could say it was too high, too low, depending on what the SEC chooses to do, because, no matter what, the SEC will get, I'm guessing, 40 to 50% more than whatever that number is. And obviously the Big 12 will look like they made a bad decision. Kudos to Yormark. So, I mean, it's a great idea. And, what's wrong with it other than it's never been done before? I mean, when, the first corporate names were slapped on stadiums, people said that's ridiculous. It's going to ruin the experience. Well, it didn't ruin anything. And so I really don't know what the number is going to be, but it's going to set the standard, which everybody should be happy about.
Well, I think it seems to be, the Big 12 looking to keep up with the Joneses, i.e. because of NIL, competitiveness for the recruiting, keeping your recruits, keeping your players. It seems as though this is a perfect drop in your lap kind of thing to be able to compete for those national titles and go get those athletes.
Well, it's keeping up with the Yankees. I mean, the SEC has significant revenue, and if they need more, they just dial up another extension of a TV deal. And at the end of the day, you got to do it because every athletic director is now faced with the understanding of budgeting for the payment of student athletes through NIL or whatever you're going to call it. And the collectives, maybe one process, independent brokerage or agencies will be another process, and the athletic departments will be another. Whatever it is, these are dollars that the schools have to be in some ways responsible for. So you got to find some sources.
Rick, how is this going to change if private equity firms start really diving into these conferences?
It'll be a business-driven league in each case. Not that it's not already, but the equity groups are going to require a significant preferred return of investment, and they'll require a certain rate, and they'll inject in some ways a sense of business normalcy in it. On the other hand, it'll inject a certain, it used to be sports and now it's not in it. And so, like payment, like naming of conferences, like everything else, it's a brave new world. We're just part of it. And I wake up every morning excited about playing a minuscule part of it. Hope that A, Rock, Manouche, Jimmy V continue to talk to me, and B, that I avoid the bless you when I hit it in the golf.
We'll leave you with that. Rick, thanks for stepping away to talk to us at the U.S. Open. Really appreciate you, buddy.
All right, man. Back to some alcohol. See you later.
You got it. That's Rick Horrow, Sports Professor. Follow him on his Twitter X page at Rick Horrow. So, if you're just joining us, the Big 12, that is going to get rid of the word big, but they want to keep 12 in there. So if it is Allstate, which it's been reported 30, 40, 50 million annually, at least according to the Action Network, it would be the Allstate 12 or the Allstate, what have you. But to Minucci, you brought up the question to Rick. They're all going to do it.
Sure.
So it's not like they're going to have an edge over the SEC or the Big Ten, because once one conference starts, copycat league like the NFL, they're all going to do it. And it's just a matter of how much you'll get. SEC will get the most. Big 12, Big 10 will fight for the second. And then it'll be ACC, Mountain West. We can go on down the road, and they're all going to get that kind of money. But not that kind of money, but it'll range from, 10 to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 million.
Just another revenue-generating scenario. And I quite frankly, I really think, guys, that the NIL has spurned or birthed all this, looking for that extra money just to, whether it's whomever it is, just to keep up and be able to be competitive, to go pay these young athletes, whatever sport it is. And maybe the other thing too, Rock, you always talk about the non-revs, maybe to keep some of these non-revs around so you don't have to put all that money toward football and basketball and getting athletes and bringing and keeping your athletes.
I just don't know why it's taken this long. Before NIL, you think about it, when John Junker had the foresight many, many years ago with the Fiesta Bowl to jump on and bring on Sunkist and then Tostitos.
Good point.
And then everybody else copied what the Fiesta Bowl did. And now there's every single brand on every single bowl game. It's everything is that way now. Hey, coming up, football 50, but I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to see if I can stump you along with Minucci and Jimmy B with a pretty cool Super Bowl question that was sent last night.